There's people that try to do bodily harm with me. They will be in the house with Puff. So I'm like, it's a funny game y'all playing behind the scenes. So when people see me, they just see me turned up. They just see me agitated. They just see me aggressive, but they don't know why. Every time something happened to me, it's somebody that's with him.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Bah! It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize in 2025. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. We back with another reaction. We got rap iconic beefs. This is gonna be interesting, man. So it's gonna be a lot of different stuff going on in this video. So make sure you buckle up, you strap in, because it's about to go down. You make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. You a real one for real. Don't forget, I also got a TikTok playlist. You can go back, binge watch, catch yourself up. It's crazy. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
This is 93.
Yeah.
When we all cool.
Right.
We all chilling.
Right.
We on the West Coast. Tupac brought Biggie with him. We rocking. We let Cub get down with us. We go in the back, smoke, chill, hang out. It's beautiful.
When did it go sideways?
Once Pac got shot. When he got shot, he felt like they did it, but...
And this was when he got shot in New York.
Yeah.
Before he got shot in Vegas.
There you go right there.
Yeah.
And now...
So he felt like someone from the West Coast was involved.
No.
Or from the
like,
East Coast, rather. Excuse me.
Yes. And later information came out that the people that he thought did it had nothing to do with it.
So by him accusing people of it, it kind of set things off.
And then by him being bailed out by Death Row Records, and Death Row Records adding more gasoline to the fire, and him being a part of the most gangsterous label in the world that his opposition didn't want no issues with.
Right.
It only egged it on, as opposed to, let's find a resolution. No, let's keep making it more of a problem.
Right.
You know, in hindsight, we should have been sitting him down saying, nah, let's...
Do your own research.
Suge Knight's a problem. He would walk up to me and be like, yo, Crack, what's up, big homie? He's like, did you see such and such? Asking about a rapper. 20 minutes later, I'm at a party in LA and they're like, yo, you heard about rapper such and such? Yeah, he got stuck up for all his jury. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'll tell you a quick story is, Cool and Dre, they went to the BMI Awards here in LA. You know, famous people, right? It was all there. Cool and Dre noticed as they were getting closer to the line that every artist was taking off their earrings, their watches, their chains, and it was Suge Knight sitting in a chair collecting everybody's jewelry.
Taking
and
their
they were
stuff?
like giving it up professionally. Yeah, earrings too, guys. Take them off. There's no cap. This really happened. It was a very dangerous guy. There's no way to sugarcoat Suge Knight. He was a very dangerous guy.
They were just giving up the jewelry on sight.
Tupac versus Biggie.
Tupac won. I think Hit 'Em Up was just one of those records. It was one of those ether records. Still to this day, you play it. Everybody, people that weren't even alive when Tupac was alive, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, you know, this generation knows all the words. They Hit 'Em Up. It's like, you know, first off, in the click you playing, everyone knows that, you know what I'm saying? And I mean word for word. Hit 'Em Up came, man, once I heard Hit 'Em Up, it was over. Yeah. But again, at the end of the day, let's call it what it is. Nobody really won that beef. Like, we're talking about
That's
two
real.
of the best rappers ever that are dead.
Yep.
So lyrically and song-wise, Tupac won. But I mean, we got two guys that you're never gonna see on earth again, and I think that is a tragedy. It will always be a tragedy, man. So again, you know, for young rappers out there, if you beefing, sometimes it goes to the streets and sometimes you'll lose your life, so you gotta be careful.
I agree with that. Lost two. Crazy though.
Is there any battle that you felt like you've lost or wasn't as victorious?
Nah.
Yeah.
I've had the artists have things, moments. Like they did something, I was like, oh, that was good.
Right.
What are some of those?
Yeah. So what did you see that you was like, oh yeah, that was a good one right there?
In between time, like what's the name? The Jadakiss, he had put out some things.
On you?
Yeah, while we was back. And look, he could really rap. Like certain part, look big. Even if the format didn't put it in a song, they make it feel like it's a problem.
Right.
But
What you said landed. Like I heard him was like, oh, yeah.
Was it Checkmate? The song called Checkmate?
Not that one. He had a few pieces.
He's bringing up shit, huh?
No, you got certain guys that they really know how to rap. Like they really know how to do things. They may not be the best song
maker,
writers, like just create the song structure for it and everything else, and pick the right production and everything else to make it just go. But they'll say things and you go, ooh. All right, Mace was like that too. Like Mace would be able to say stuff at points and you look and you like, you just want to snatch it.
But Mace can make records too, though. He can make hits.
There's people that try to do bodily harm with me. They will be in the house with Puff. So I'm like, it's a funny game y'all playing behind the scenes. So when people see me, they just see me turned up. They just see me agitated. They just see me aggressive, but they don't know why. Every time something happened to me, it's somebody that's with him. But this is supposed to be the nigga I'm signed to. This is supposed to be who I'm getting money with. And I gotta say this because when people see me irate and they see me aggressive, they wanna, oh, what is Mace doing? Mace is bugging. No, it's a point you get to that you like, yo, I can't let you play because you playing now dangerous games. I never got paid what I was worth, and I never got the respect I was worth. So the disdain that I got for Puff is more like, you trying to keep me here, nigga? I'm producing the work. Yeah. Puff would go out and party, and I would be in the studio writing the records, and then I just come back and say, he'll say this is his part or that is his part, but I was the person there creating it all. Even More Money, More Problems, I came up with that. I came up with the beat too.
Wow.
And I said, Stevie, we need to do this beat and do it like this. So just imagine all of these moments that are taken from you, the records, the beats, you ain't getting the money, the publishing, you ain't getting the respect. And I don't think you're like that. So imagine somebody doing that and then they over there talking about brother love.
Oh, man.
They played Ether in the club and Jay was heated. And I remember that. I just remember he sent Dame like, yo, tell that nigga to turn that shit off. Nas just dropped this Ether record and the shit kind of crazy. And he may have won. And everybody back on the West was like, no. I was like, nah, dude. I'm telling you, I'm like in the streets of New York right now. And Nas might have won. This shit crazy. And yeah, we're in D&D talking about it. It's not too, it's pretty early. Couldn't be much more than 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And then Nas bops in. I remember Nas, he comes in, he's bopping. He's usually very chill, like, yo, peace. You know, that's just, every time I've encountered him, he's very, like, humble, nice. You know, not that he wasn't humble still, he had a little more umph in his step. He was like bopping. He was like, yeah, he walked in, chilling. I was like, oh, shit. So he had a session next door for Don Diva magazine. And I remember, for like an hour, me, him, and Premier talking. And it was just kind of the overview of the record. And he's just like, you know, he's like, yo, Flex played it 3 times, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, yo, I was in the shop. I was at the Lower East Side, and everybody was Jay-Z fans. Like, you might have one fan, but, you know, because, you know, at the time, Jay was crushing everything. And it was just very interesting watching, like, the changing of guards, because I remember all the Spanish kids in the barbershop, like, they was trying to hold on to, like, nah, Jay got it. And then niggas like, nah, but this shit crazy. And then Flex played it, and I knew, you know, I knew some of the things that that Nas was saying. I don't even know all of it. They, you know, as far as some of the personal jabs in that record. I lived with Jay-Z for a summer. So, yeah, I just knew that it was clinically written deadly. It was a deadly written personal record. And the ironic part is that I saw Nas during the day at the studio. He left, he went into his session, and then I worked on Golden Child with DJ Premier. And then at night I went out to the club, me and Wise, my homeboy from a group that was signed to Rockefeller called the Rangers. So we went out and saw Jay and Dame at the club. We went into the club because I met this chick. That's hilarious. This long story, but I went to that. We all went into that club. We were sitting at a table next to David Justice, and it was this pretty chick dancing on the table. I would later know who she would be later, but they played Ether in the club, and Jay was heated, and I remember that. I just remember he saying, Dame, like, yo, tell that nigga to turn that shit off. But the club was going up. And that's when I knew it was over. And the DJ was not, he was like, fuck that. And he played that shit. and the club went up. And that's when I knew Nas won. The streets had spoken. Like, the DJ played it. The chicks, the nigga, and Jay was in the building.
That's
crazy. It's kind of like when I knew when 50 got Nas. I remember when they didn't play in the club. They played the skit that 50 made making fun of Ja Rule of Ja Rule does duets with Mariah Carey, and it's Ja Rule. I'm singing, and then it's like Ja Rule even does skits with himself. It's me. Are you Ja Rule? So they like, when I heard that in the club, like playing the skit, you know it's a rap. Like, man, it's over.
Jay in the club, they playing Ether.
Everyone believes that Diddy was involved in both these shootings and had a direct involvement in your brother's death. That is what the streets have said for 27 years. That's why 50 Cent said it. That's why Eminem has said similar stuff. What's interesting to me about your involvement in this is that Diddy actually called you after an LA Times article in 2008 alleging he'd been involved in your brother's death.
What?
What did he say that day when he called you?
He was in town. He was in LA at the time. He was on the radio. He asked a local DJ that we all know, Big Boy, to reach out to me because he wanted to speak to me about something. This is a few years after Pac's murder, and we all were familiar with all the rumors and stuff. I said, yeah, let me talk to him. So he called me, and I had my guys with me, Thug Life guys, and we heard what he had to say. He basically said he ain't have nothing to do with my brother's murder. And I told him the truth is still yet to come out, so we're gonna see. Here we are 27, 28 years later. It looks like there's some doubt in that statement. So, thus, along with all the other suspicions that people have, it was time for it to be investigated.
In a statement at the time, Diddy declared, this story is a lie, the LA Times story. Neither I nor the late Notorious had any knowledge of any attack on Tupac before, during, or after it happened. Do you think that was an honest statement?
My opinion is that I don't believe it was a 100% honest statement. So, again, got to find out what's true and what's false, what's real and what's fake.
Do you think he was lying?
Quite possibly, and it's kind of looking that way, in my opinion.
27 years later.
So you believe Tupac and Biggie murder was in-house?
I believe Biggie and Tupac was in-house. All had something to do with death row people.
That's a very strong comment to make, man.
Listen, it came from their own mouth. DJ Quick. I think they got one of them bad boy niggas. They said they was gonna get him. Who was they? Had to be Death Row. Somebody affiliated with them. Somebody he was around there. Who Pac had problems with? People at Death Row. He was firing people. Suge was firing people. He didn't want to deal with them no more. Wasn't nobody from Bad Boy that killed Pac. Nah. Not at all. Now, if Wolf was out there and his crew like he wanted to, it's a possibility that any of that could happen. But that wasn't, man, listen here, man. You can't, listen to me. There's no way, bro. There's no way that I'm going to have a convoy of cars and somebody's going to ride up to my principal and kill them. There's no way, unless it's in-house. Somebody we know, somebody we cool with, some familiar face that we let go past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different cars. Because if we don't know you, what's somebody gonna say? They're gonna get out of line. Yo, get behind that guy. Who's that? Go right on close to him, blow your horn, do all kinds of stuff. Pull on the side of him, go up on the sidewalk. What you doing, man? That's how you do. These are law enforcement officers. Some of them there, I'm assuming that. They had a couple of law enforcement officers that was working, following Suge them. They're not going to let that happen. Especially after Pac had a fight in the MGM. Come on, man.
That's a good
Save
point.
it for David. Tell somebody else. You trying to bump me in the head with that. Now I'm Sam Sausage Head if you want me to believe that. See, people don't understand is that then they say, yo, Gene Deal changed the story. Yo, when you get new evidence, when you start seeing stuff and people start coming out with stuff that they never called before, there's certain things going to have to change. Certain things going to have to be different. Because now you know new stuff. Russell Poole had that shit right all at the first time, man. And that's why they probably killed him. Allegedly.
This stuff here goes deep.
One thing you gotta realize, the whole world know I hate rats, I hate snitches. I ain't into telling. So people always wanna know, is Pac alive? I'm the wrong to ask. But I tell you this, if you try to find the person who cremated Tupac, after he supposed to cremated Tupac, he retired and vanished into the sun, into the sunset, into the darkness. After if you really look at it, because Pac done all those songs, so the mathematically impossible. So answer your own question. Is he here or is he dead? But at the same time, that was my little brother. His code name was Machiavelli, like mine is Simon. And if you know the story of Machiavelli, he faked his own. But at the same time, they wanted to put Pac back in prison. And Pac would fake his own disappear before he go back to prison. So you answer that. Do you still hearing? Do you still seeing? I'm quite sure you do. But once again, I ain't into telling, so you never know.
This stuff here, man. What?
You had a song that you were set to release that P told you not to.
Yeah, it was called Fuck Death Row.
And you mentioned that kind of saved your life, though.
It did, because P was smart enough to know that I wasn't ready to go to war. I just was vigilant, and I was like, fuck that, I got to defend my pride, but my pride would have got me killed. Well, and sometimes you got to be smarter than the average bear. You got to know and understand why you're here. And I needed him as a big brother and a mentor to pull me out of that bad environment, take me to the South, show me a different world. My family from Mississippi. See, sometimes you got to get taken back to your roots. And I was able to go see my grandmother. I was able to drive back and forth to see certain family members, and it was showing me how to like separate. Because at that time, I didn't know how to separate from the homies. I felt like I needed them with me everywhere I went. But they was baggage because they wasn't doing the job. They was just on my job.
There were people who wanted Big dead, and there were people who wanted Puff dead. The people that wanted Puff dead was a dude from the Nation of Islam that we got into it at Soul Train. The people that thought they had something to do with Big Jake dying, which they didn't. That was a part of Death Row or the Bloods. Then you got the guys, what was called the Dog Pound. Big was out there, and the Dog Pound was in New York doing a video. Big made a phone call to the radio station and said, yo, New York, y'all let the Dog Pound be in Red Hook do a video. So now they want Big head. That video shoot got shot up, bruh. When Pac came up there. They thought Big and them may have had something to do with that. So that's 5 different factions of people that may wanted somebody dead. So now you get to this. I don't believe that he had anything to do with Big's death. I think that the people who was trying to kill Puff killed Big.
Ooh. Ooh, what?
Idea who shot Suge.
I'm pretty sure Suge knows who shot Suge.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so when he comes out of sedation, I'm sure anybody who gets shot will tell you who shot them, right?
Yeah.
But if the police say nobody shot him, I believe nobody shot him. And if nobody shot him, that's the same nobody that shot Tupac. And if nobody shot Tupac, it's the same nobody that shot MLK. And if nobody shot him, that's the same person that shot Malcolm X too. It's a lot of nobodies out there, and nobody minds if nobody comes up missing, right? That don't bother nobody, does it? Certainly doesn't bother me.
Nobody cares if nobody comes up missing.
See, NWA and Ice Cube didn't really see eye to eye all the time. Eventually, things got really bad between the whole group. While Ice Cube took shots at everyone, it seems like he had the biggest issues with Eazy-E and Dr. Dre. The issue started because, according to Ice Cube, their manager and Eazy-E, who founded Ruthless, were underpaying him. Eazy-E and Jerry Heller haven't ever really spoken on the whole thing, but before they knew it, Ice Cube left NWA and went solo. Meanwhile, the rest of NWA were still more or less one unit, working together. Dre and Snoop Dogg started collaborating on a few tracks. There were lyrics directed right at Ice Cube, calling him out for ditching the group and whining about pay. Eventually, Ice Cube decided that he had enough and released No Vaseline. The track is over 5 minutes long, and in each verse, he goes in on a different member of NWA, even deciding to drag their manager into the diss.
The weird time, the East Coast versus West Coast shit was very weird.
Yeah. It was, people equated to Tupac and Suge, and Bad Boy and Death Row. But it was actually bubbling before that. It was, to me, an industry thing in a way. Like, New York had the throne for so long, and here go, well, at least a decade or more. And here comes these West Coast rappers, kind of taking attention away. And so the industry people, it started to bubble up with them that, we're doing real hip hop, they're just doing gangster records, and so that started to kind of get into the artists, that sentiment started to poison the artists. And an artist named Tim Dog did a song called Fuck Compton, out of nowhere. We was like, damn, we like New York. Why y'all, why he take a shot? And nobody really rebutted him. They kind of let it slide. And then more and more artists start taking shots. Here and there. And then the thing with Bad Boy and Death Row, it kind of just took it over the top. It just made it, because they were the hottest labels. You had the hottest label on the East Coast battling with the hottest label on the West Coast. So that made that undercurrent of animosity that was growing blow all the way up and look like it was a feud.
I ain't never know that. I ain't never know that.
Suge was gonna kill Dre. He was gonna kill him because Tupac was making #1 records, and Dre wasn't producing none of them. And Pac is getting ready to be done. So you get him out, got a 5-album deal. His first CD, All Eyes on Me, double CD, come back, Machiavelli, break street date. So he back early with that one. That one's #1 selling, and he got 2 others in the studio doing artwork. He done with that, moving to the Outlaws and doing everything else. And you going, well, how do I keep him? Maybe I give him Dre's app. I don't know, Jimmy. Something might have to happen to Dre. You know, like these are the thoughts and
Suge still trying to kill him. You saw what happened a few weeks ago when he showed up to the movies. Suge still want blood.
Crazy how stuff be behind the scenes.
50 Cent is such an amazing guy. He should be really studied, analyzed. And people heard this story a million times. Chris Lighty put me on. He put 50 Cent on. When he died, we did a tribute at the BET Awards to Chris Lighty. Rest in peace, Chris Lighty. He saved my life. He signed me in the streets. So we do the tribute, and they're like, yo, Joe, we got Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, and this, 50 Cent, and they're like, I heard the 50 Cent. So I know not to up the BET Awards, but when I go, so I'm sitting there, the 50 Cent trailer's right in front of it, so we don't know where this is going. But you know, 50 Cent crazy, right? Pistol Pete and them, yo, we not walking through detectives, and 50 Cent walk up and says, Terror Squad, G Unit, we together. Niggas look around, the whole place was like, so we perform, and the nigga put his hand out. He said, peace. So now I look at the nigga, it's like a movie. All type of shit is flashing. He dissed my wife, he dissed my kids, shit is just flashing. And he goes again, peace.
Right.
Chris Lighty. I said, peace, nigga? He said, peace. So I shook his hand. When I shook his hand, niggas jumping up and down like the Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witches of Death. I got a whole conspiracy theory about 50 Cent. He should be adored. When you see how incredible he finessed TV shows and this, like he's to be studied.
He said peace. He said peace, nigga. Peace.
There was a plan put into motion that could have ended the East Coast West Coast beef, and not a lot of people know this, but Suge Knight and Tupac were planning to open up a division of Death Row Records for the East Coast.
Yeah, they was.
And what's crazy about this is that they were going to set up shop in New Jersey for the first one, and they were very close to launching it, and they were going to sign 50 Cent as the star rapper of Death Row East Coast.
Wow.
And they were also going to sign artists such as Craig Mack, Run DMC were in the conversation.
What?
And the whole idea was for them to take control of both coasts.
That would have been
But the reason why this could have actually stopped the whole feud is the fact that they were going to be merging in maybe certain artists from Bad Boy Records and from other labels into Death Row. And this is a real thing. There's interviews where Tupac is actually wearing an East Coast Death Row t-shirt.
Not only that, but I think if you go into the Defiant ones, he's actually like holding the sign up, right? Like he was promoting it before he unfortunately passed away. So.
Nas recently put out a song called Death Row East where he kind of goes into that story about how there actually was a plan to get both coasts to align in some way.
That would have been major. Death Row East.
August 1995, the Source Awards took place, which changed the relationship between the East and West Coast. Ice Cube said in an interview that everything was on the verge of disaster. Many people had guns that night, and one extra move could change the course of the ceremony. And then there's Suge Knight, who comes out and says,
any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
It was a straight diss towards Puff Daddy, who, if we're being honest, really liked to show off in many clips of his artists. On top of that, Suge made it clear that they were on Tupac's side.
I'd like to tell Tupac, keep his guards up, we ride with him.
The venue erupted in boos. Why would you do that? Death Row rapper Nate Dogg thought to himself. What inspired Suge's bizarre attack? After all, he and Puffy had been cool with each other until fairly recently. They discussed how to keep the feds from tracking them. And earlier in 1995, Suge had even invited Biggie Smalls to perform at his club 662 in Las Vegas. The show never went off, but this didn't sour their relationship. What soured it was Tupac. On top of that, Snoop Dogg added fuel to the fire, which will come back to bite him in the future. But more on that a little later.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row.
That was a crazy time.
The boy Puffy called me though. Puffy called me back in the day. Back in the day, he called me. He was like, "I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brothers. You know, I know who you are, but we never met. And I just want to call you man to man to let you know that I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's death." Now, why was he calling me, reaching out to me? Because LA Times had just dropped, it was in the early 2000s, LA Times had just dropped an article in the newspaper implicating him as well. I told him I appreciate the call, but the truth is yet to come out, so we gonna see.
And I remember that article, man. And the guy that wrote that article, he actually did a few Tupac interviews when Tupac was still living. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. So Puffy, he called you trying to plead his innocence.
Well, him and I think him and C's was on the radio out here, and Big Boy, shout out to Big Boy, he hit me up. He was like, "Yo, man, you know, Puffy, see, they want to talk to you about the whole situation about your brother." And, you know, especially back then, I wanted all the information I could get.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard what he said, but, you know, this shit been so chaotic. I ain't know which way to go until you find out more information. And Kading is out, you know, doing interviews and talking about, you know, it be feeling like he got sympathy for Puffy because he was scared. Yeah, he was scared. Yes, I agree. I do agree that he was probably terrified for his life. So if that is the case, it's also quite feasible that he put up money to get Pac killed.
The last time, well, the only time and last time I ever met Eazy-E was at the Tunnel. And so that was like 2 days before he died. He was in there with Ice Cube. Remember they had beef?
I see Eazy right before he died out here at the Tunnel. He was with Bone Thugs. It was a trip. I came with Biggie and Pac. I mean, not Biggie and Pac, but Biggie and Puffy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We had came out and we was all at the club, you know, they doing their thing. Eazy walks up like, "Yo, what's happening?" So we end up just talking for like 2 hours at the Tunnel, because he was feuding with Dre and Death Row by then. So my little feud was like
right
over and done.
Yeah.
He was talking about, "Yo, let's get the group back together. You think you can do it?" I was like, "Yo, you work it out with Dre, come holler at me." You know what I mean? And it didn't happen because a few months later he was sick.
You know Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in LA for him to finish your album when in fact you got your own studio, Daddy's house? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this man. He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop them or whatever. Big started that beef. You understand what I'm saying? Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put them out the pasture.
Ooh.
Catch him if you can. If you the wolf, if you got that wolf in you, catch him if you can. Why in the hell you would put your man in a situation by sending him to Cali to work on your album?
Crazy.
When you know, not his Nimitz, but your Nimitz was just murdered by niggas that you was running with. Why would you do that?
This stuff, boy. What the?
Suge tried to destroy my record company. with the help of others, Dre. So right now we're getting everything back together and we finna come out, you know, fully loaded.
Easy was pissed off at Suge for taking Dre, and it was much money and energy and work that Easy put into starting Ruthless and making it a success, you know, like that. It was, you know, kind of gone. Easy wanted Suge himself. He just wanted Suge. And Jerry talked him out of it.
That beef drew very severe lines.
Man, like I said, the behind the scenes.
For those of you that follow my page, you guys know that I've done, you know, a few videos about Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight, and the whole East Coast, West Coast beef with, you know, Sean P. Diddy Combs and Bad Boy and Death Row. But what you guys probably don't know is the backstory to why this beef started in the first place. Check this out. Sean P. Diddy Combs, his baby mama is a girl named Misa Hilton. That's the girl who had his first child. Rumors that, you know, she and Puffy were together. They were in love. They had a, you know, amazing relationship for many years. She was a fashion stylist to a lot of the artists, you know, on the Bad Boy label. Anyway, at some point in time, they began to have issues. And Misa ventured out to the West Coast and landed in the lap of none other than Suge Knight. Misa then starts hanging out with Suge. Her and Suge are dating, hanging out, fandangling. And, you know, and Puffy and Suge, you know, were like, they weren't rivals at the time, but they were the two biggest labels in the world. Suge being from a more gangster street perspective and Puffy being from the entertainment perspective. Nonetheless, Bad Boy and Death Row were the biggest labels in the 90s. Misa leaves Puffy alone, starts messing with Suge. Suge starts parading her around. Now, Misa's best friend at the time was Mary J. Blige. So now Misa and Mary J. Blige are fandangling in the West Coast with Suge and Pac. Wars. It's biblical. Wars have been started over beef with women, right? It's biblical. Not saying the women started it, but men will kill and destroy over a woman that they love. That's a fact. That's where the beef started. Suge and Pac started hanging out with Misa and Mary. In fact, Suge started managing Mary J. Blige and taking over her financial affairs.
Really?
Mary J. Blige and Jodeci, both of whom were under the tutelage of Sean P. Diddy Combs. So there you have it. The spark that started the beef, that ended two lives of the two most iconic rappers in the world, all behind women and their lack of control of their emotions when it comes to women. The East Coast, West Coast beef was started because Suge Knight started dating Misa Hilton, the baby mama of Sean P. Diddy Combs, and managing Jodeci and Mary J. Blige, both of whom were under the tutelage of Sean P. Diddy Combs. There you have it. There's the backstory to why the beef started and why Tupac and Notorious Big ultimately lost their lives. Get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this.
Nas ain't got a lot of people with him, but he got a lot of people with him, if you know what I mean. And I'm seeing him and I'm knowing, because I'm a gangbang. I'm seeing them put their hands on their guns. Tupac got the whole Death Row in the... We riled up. I step away from him. Him and Nas right here, boom. Nas like, what's up, Pac? Man, I love your music, I'm a fan. That's what Pac say. I dissed you, Jay-Z, Biggie, he named off a gang of them. I dissed all you on the song. And if you a fan and you ain't got no beef, don't say nothing. And Nas said, I love you. Never diss you. And he shook his hand and he hugged him. And then when he walked off, Pac said, yeah, I punked that. In my mind, I was like, nah, he let us slide.
Nas had people with him.
I could have gotten shot that day if I was just happened to be with y'all.
You definitely could have. New Jersey Devil got shot.
He got grazed.
Yeah.
Here's the game talking about the day 50 Cent kicked his ass off G-Unit. We all know the game adds extras to shit, but maybe some of this is true.
So you do the interview basically saying I don't have any beef with Nas or Jada or Fat Joe. And then 50 does a Funkmaster Flex interview where he said the game is no longer in G-Unit. He said that Game is a great rapper, but he's not a great songwriter. And he claimed that he did 6 songs on the album. And then you heard that on the radio and you guys went to Hot 97 to talk to him. So you and New Jersey Devil and some of your homies,
a lot of them,
a bunch of your homies. So you guys go to Hot 97 to talk to 50 over what he just said.
We went up there, they wouldn't let us in, and so we got into, you know, some shit with the with his entourage and his, you know, his security, and shots were fired. A lot of shots were fired. I mean, we had on Converse and shit. So I don't know if anybody ever been to New York where it's snowing heavy, but Converse in New York in the winter is the absolute worst decision you could make. And a lot of us had on like Chucks. And so it was slipping and sliding. I remember trash trucks, like we was hiding behind trash trucks and shooting back. And it was just a whole shootout outside of Hot 97 that got us banned and changed the way that Hot 97 does interviews, I think, to this day.
Yeah. Well, I remember thinking like, yo, I could have gotten shot that day if I was just happened to be with y'all.
You definitely could have. New Jersey Devil got shot.
He got grazed.
Yeah.
Speaking of 50, you were in the club video shoot.
Right.
Were you there when Suge Knight showed up with the crew of Mexicans?
Fuck yeah. And I was there with the homies.
I remember Tony Yayo said in our interview that when this was happening, Eminem was there and Eminem was ready to go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You saw it.
But he should have been ready to go.
Right.
M's not a gangster rapper, man.
Right.
He's M. He's an MC. He's unconfrontational. What I'm saying is that, like, M is non-confrontational. He's not a beef. I mean, he's not a real, like, you know, like...
Right.
He's not like fucking old Beanie Siegel. You know what I'm saying? He ain't walking around with the strap ready to up it and just pop shit. But he from Detroit. He from Detroit, man. He's from 8 Mile, bro. And I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago, we talked about all his niggas is niggas. So yeah, of course, M was ready to go. He was ready to go. But Dre wasn't having that. Jimmy Iovine was on set too. Jimmy wasn't having that. And I mean, we're talking about Eminem. So it wasn't in anybody's best interest for M to even get into it, or 50, because this was a huge time for him. But I was there. Face was there. All my niggas was there, and we wasn't really having it. So again, nothing transpired there either.
MC, I got to get up out of here. This is not for me.
Did you speak to Pac after he got shot?
Yeah, I was actually in the hospital even when they wouldn't let Biggie in. And when I went in the hospital, you know, the security is there, the nation was there, and they let me in because Mama Afeni, rest the queen, she was in there. She was like, please, Tretch, talk some sense in his head. He can't leave the hospital. He want to leave. I'm like, he want to leave? He just got shot. He'll get an infection and you won't make it. He was like, nah, I don't trust these doctors. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I think they might put something up in here. I done did some things. I speak my mind, bro. I said, say no more. So I went out and told Ma. She was like, sound like him. The doctors gave him all the medication he need, all the extra, the painkillers, the penicillin, whatever medicine they could give him where he could get out of there. He got out of there.
And you said that Biggie, he came up to the hospital?
Yeah, Biggie had came to the hospital, but they wouldn't let him in. Pac ain't want to see him because they, you know, the word was out Biggie had something to do with it. His people, he knew who did it. You know, or it was his people, or it was Brooklyn niggas, and boom. And Pac was like, find out who did that so I know, blah, 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 blah. And that's where the whole tension came.
What if I told you that Jay-Z might have more to do with Diddy's arrest than people may think? See, when you go back to the 90s, there's two people that has benefited every time someone was removed from the hip-hop game, Diddy and Jay-Z. Let's start with Biggie and Tupac. Throughout the early 90s, these two were known as the top two in the rap game. Jay-Z was always considered third behind them, still is. But in order to get his proper shine, those two had to be taken out the way. Because if not, with Biggie being from New York and Pac all in movies, Jay-Z would have always been in their shadows. In comes Diddy. See, when you thought of Bad Boy back then, you thought of Biggie. Diddy was just the dancing dude in everybody's videos. So in order for you to change that narrative, you have to remove Biggie. And then on top of that, you got Pac over here making it harder for you. So now you have two people with the exact same two problems. Remove those two problems, and those two people move to the forefront, or so they thought. In comes DMX, sort of like a mix of Big and Pac. Had that New York style lyrics like Big, but aggressive like Pop. He got platinum albums, he doing movies. Even Jay told the story about performing with DMX. The man was a problem that they didn't expect. You had to get him out the way. But by the time that actually took place, in comes 50 Cent. And we all know how much of a problem 50 was for every damn body. The only thing you could do with 50 back then was just ride the wave and let it die down. But it actually did. So now you once again have a window of opportunity to jump back on top. What does Jay do? The retiring, unretiring thing like Jordan. Diddy was out there making bands, came with that group trying to remake Destiny's Child. But then they had another problem. See, by now, the South had started its run. T.I. was on top for a minute. Luda had a run. Nelly, hell, even Lil Jon had everybody crunk. Then Lil Wayne came with the Carters, and rap was never the same again, because the music started to change. If you didn't come with a dance that went with your song, you might as well just saved it at that time. Then Young Money happened. So again, that window was missed. Fast forward to now, and you have two people that know the exact details of every incident that happened. One might have realized, I better get him before he get me. Because if you noticed, when Diddy named all those names, he never named Jay-Z. But what if this whole time is Jay behind all this going on with Diddy, thinking since that time is officially passed, he better get to him first. Because where's Jay-Z now? He's completely disappeared. Leave a comment and give me your thoughts. You think Jay could be behind it along with that liquor company? Like this video and follow me for more content.
The conspiracy theories are heavy. Heavy.
You know, I think it's funny. A lot of rappers always have something to say about Eminem until they realize they don't want that smoke. And this is what Benzino said.
Rap Elvis already destroyed him. I already killed him with Rap Elvis. Where's he at? Where's the response? I want to battle him face to face. I think he's overrated. I think he sucks as a rapper.
What?
Now, Eminem keeps telling you people. He told you people think they want this problem till they get it. And a lot of rappers try to stay away from that problem. I guess Benzino missed the memo. And this is him now.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. I got nothing against Eminem that can rap. But I care about us more. I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want for 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. What the fuck you want me to do? My daughter came into the...
It's like they never learned. Man, you rappers just need to leave Eminem alone.
Whoa, I never seen that interview. That's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you the beef with Diddy. So, Pac, in 1995, he get a call from a dude named Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman is Muslim. Jimmy Henchman, a lot of people thought it was Haitian Jack that shot Pac. It really wasn't Haitian Jack. You know what I mean? Pac, you know Haitian Jack. He was a big Haitian gangster from New York. He's a real gangster. He's a real gangster. But him and Pac was cool. What happened is Pac going to a hotel room and then a girl claimed he raped her. Then all of a sudden he go to jail and come to find out she was affiliated with Haitian Jack. So now Pac get called to the studio with a guy named Jimmy Henchman to come do a song with his artist called Little Sean. Pac was always vocal. They didn't like him. He was a very confident dude, cocky, arrogant, outspoken. So a lot of people he had envy. They didn't like him, these New York rappers. Pac going to the studio, they ambush him. Elevator, they ambush him. He pull out a gun. They started shooting him. They robbed him from his jewelry. He told me this out of his own mouth. He said, when I get off the elevator, I go to the top floor. Guess who's there? Every major New Yorker is in there looking like they saw ghosts, as if they was going to celebrate my death. So Pac said, how in the world every New York rapper from Biggie, Puffy, Jimmy Henchman, everybody in the studio waiting for me. He said, and then Biggie, you said you the king of New York? I want to know who shot me then. So that's when Pac started going on that viral. Then he go to jail.
Oh, that's who shot you. You know?
So imagine this, then you go to jail, and Pac said, I'm in jail, and then I turn on the radio, all of us, I hear Biggie's doing a song called Who Shot You? Separate the Wheat. And the name of that song.
You never heard it.
No, I used to listen to music back there. I never played it myself. If I turned on the radio.
Was Who Shot You even really about Pac though?
Yo, you funny, bro. Yeah.
They said Who Shot You wasn't about Tupac.
But why would Pac think that's not about him? Imagine you get shot by getting robbed. Now all of a sudden it's the #1 song on the radio. Who shot you? So Pac in jail, he bored, and that's when he called us. That's when we started getting on that path. You gonna be Napoleon. You gonna be Edie.
Right.
I'm gonna be Machiavelli.
It was me against the world.
Yeah,
It
when I
was
come
y'all
out,
against
he's like, when I come out, I'm destroying all these jokers.
Right.
And that's why he got on what he was on. And then to come to find out now, the people that actually shot Pac, they all on the radio. They on YouTube now, and the guys tell the truth. He said, Jimmy Hinchman, Andre Harrell, Puffy, all was in the studio, knew Pac was gonna get shot. Biggie, to be honest, I don't think Biggie knew about it. Now what's coming out, Biggie didn't know about it. Pac didn't know that back then, but now it seemed like Puffy knew about it.
Guilty by association.
Guilty by association.
Right,
yeah.
but then if P. Diddy was there in the studio, why was Pac hanging out with Diddy after that?
He never hung out with him after that. It went to war after that. Them pictures and all that never was
That was
after
from
that.
before?
Yeah, it's from before.
Okay.
After that, Pac started, I remember I saw the change in Pac when he would write letters. He would write his letter, and he would take on the West Coast calligraphy, like how you cross out your enemies. So he would write bad boy killer and cross out the bad boy. And that's when I was like, I seen his mindset go from
You're
that.
on some other stuff, huh?
I seen his mindset go from that, and I seen like he came home and he was about war. You know what I mean? Because he looked like, why did they do that to me? Because Pac is the type of person, when he's your friend, he's your friend. He used to bring Biggie on the stage. Before Biggie became famous, Pac used to come on the stage with me. I want to introduce you.
Seen those videos.
Yeah.
Man, this is wild.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like you by name were directly targeted in the Jay-Z Prodigy beef.
Right.
But what was going through your head when that was happening?
Yeah, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never wanted beef with Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Because he's somebody that, you know what I'm saying, throughout my career and throughout his career, somebody that I admired, you know what I mean? I loved his work ethic. I loved his music. So to end up him kind of like beefing with Prodigy and the spillover was Mobb Deep, it was like, it was kind of in my mind, it was kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad at Jay or nothing like that, but it would be one of those things, like if I saw Jay, it's like I feel like I got beef with somebody I don't got beef with. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just a corny, real straight corny feeling. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, I had to stand with my comrade, you know what I mean, and have his back, you know what I mean? And I did, you know what I mean? And even Prodigy knows that, you know, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those things that we really don't want. But we ended up speaking with Jay, you know, anyway, and working with him indirectly with an artist that he wanted us to work with. So that was kind of squashed. But, you know, at the end of the day, to answer your question, it wasn't a good feeling.
I'm sure. Beefing with Jay.
When I first heard the first Blueprint, second song on the album, Takeover, you know, that was like the, you know, whoa, that was the jump off, right? This album, I don't hear anything addressing Nas or any of those, pretty much nobody directly in terms of beefs, you know. In fact, I even heard a rumor, you could clarify this, that there's a possibility that you and Nas might actually squash whatever differences you guys had as rappers. Is any truth to that?
I mean, you gotta understand that what we had as rappers is exactly what it is. What we had is rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's minutes, it got crazy. You know what I'm saying? It went outside the lines of rap. But for the most part, it's, you know, it's just music. Like it's just us being creative at competitive at what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's what rap music was built on. Like, I'm better than you, But we just had a full-on clash. And so, I don't know. It might go on forever. You know what I'm saying?
It might go on forever?
Yeah, who's to say?
Oh,
Because it's not a violent thing. It's just a music thing. I think it helps.
I respect that.
You know, help the guy out. I think he made better music. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, you know, doing a great job for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because after making so many albums, you need something to
spark you and inspire you.
Yeah. People don't know if they just left me alone. I'd probably be in trouble. You know, the more controversy and the more things I got to say, the better I'm gonna be.
That make complete sense.
Really, like I guess the only guy that came from the street that was really doing the shit he was saying.
It was connected to even more because I was getting into altercations with guys that are only street.
Yeah.
Like my prime issues with Jimmy Hinchman, world, different points. So those things were like, these are lists of people that you do not want on your list of people that you have problems with, because they had a track record. You could probably put 30 bodies, 40 bodies under those banners.
Damn.
So when I'm having an issue with them, I'm on their radar even further.
Right.
And it's like, whether they're comfortable with it or investigating from a perspective of that I may actually be utilizing my finances to
fund street shit.
Right, to fund the street activity that's going on, or them investigating that these guys are going to do something to me.
Like when we got hit with Hit 'Em Up, I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we're not gonna respond. Somebody's gonna get hurt if we respond, And so I don't know what's gonna happen with it, but I could understand that perspective, because Tupac hit us with Hit 'Em Up, and that joint was cold. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to that. We were actually like throwing people's turntables. A DJ would play that. We would just end the party and just
take that off.
No, we would take the turntable. We would take your turntables. You played Hit 'Em Up. You know what I'm saying? That's how cold that thing hurt to this day.
All right, that was another TikTok compilation, man. That was of iconic rap beefs. That was a lot in there. It was a lot of backstory to kind of get you up to speed with what was going on. But like I said, do your own research, man. But that was very interesting to see the different layers and the different things that could. They basically saying the East and the West Coast big beef was over a woman. That would have been crazy if that's true. If you made it this far, you a real one for real. Make sure you drop that in the comments. Also, I got a TikTok playlist. Go through and binge watch, man. Enjoy yourself. But till next time, self-love and positivity for our squad. I got you and you know it.